Hello y'all, welcome back to another video dedicated to help you break out of the cycle of toxic behaviors and relationships in the personal and romantic area of your life. My name is Coach Jeanette from @Jeanette.Exito, and if you like anything personal development or healthy relationships, make sure that you subscribe and join the tribe. In this video, we're going to be talking about the fearful avoidant attachment style, otherwise known as the disorganized attachment style, and their need for control. Now, I briefly brought this up in the general characteristics of my fearful avoidant attachment style, so if you haven't watched that, make sure you go ahead and do that. But I wanted to dive a little bit more in depth and talk about some of the behaviors that sneak up on you when you have this need of control. And these are behaviors and patterns that I notice working with my clients and within myself as a former FA. So everyone has a certain degree of wanting to feel in control of their lives and feel stability. However, because the fearful avoidant grew up in an environment where it was chaotic, unpredictable, a lot of ups and downs, they have a bigger need for this control. And this is because they lack that stability growing up, and so they have a bigger void within themselves that they're looking to fill. So if you had caregivers or parents who were constantly yelling or screaming, present one day and giving you intense love, but then absent the other day, or maybe you were just surrounded in an environment where there was a lot of ups and downs and a lot of unpredictable behavior, and you learn that you can't 100% trust the people that you love to provide that safety and stability for you. Because we grew up in an environment where there was so much unpredictability and chaos, we learn to seek control in other ways to find that stability for ourselves. And so some of the more common behaviors that I've noticed a fearful avoidant exhibit to find that control: number one, that hypervigilance. So this is reading between the lines, trying to figure out what someone's true intentions are, seeing if there's a shift in body language, change of tone of voice. In a way, we're trying to seek this control by figuring out if there's anything that we need to look out for or prepare for beforehand in order to protect ourselves. Number two, switching from extremely hot behavior to extremely cold behavior. So hot behaviors look like being really present in your romantic relationships, in your platonic relationships, being vulnerable, sharing, and having really deep and authentic talks. Whereas cold behavior is more pulling back, withdrawing, isolating yourself, giving the cold shoulder, silent treatment. And that switch between really hot and cold behavior is a way for you to almost protect yourself. As you see, a lot of fearful avoidants have this really deep need for love and attention, and they crave that closeness, as do everyone else. However, like we mentioned before, because they have a negative association to trusting the people they love the most, to give them that love and feel safe and stable, that same fear comes up when they're being too vulnerable with the people that they love. In the back of their mind, they're subconsciously thinking, oh no, I can't trust this person to be truly there for me. They're gonna abandon me or reject me, or something's gonna happen where I'm gonna lose that. And so in order to protect themselves, they pull away first in an attempt to try to feel in control of their emotions. Number three is that codependency and people pleasing. A lot of times, a lot of fearful avoidants go into this caregiver role where they're taking care of other people, making sure everyone's okay, even creating this sense of dependency in an attempt to feel needed by someone. Because in the back of their mind, their subconscious goes, if this person needs them, then they will depend on me, and it's our way to kind of control whether or not someone will like us. In actuality, that codependent relationship can turn unhealthy, which I talk about in my last video, so you can click the link here to learn more. These are just general and common ways that a lot of fearful avoidants try to find control in their life again. However, now I want to dive into some of the more sneaky, unhealthy behaviors that the fearful avoidants indulge in an attempt to feel in control again. These are all behaviors I've noticed working with my clients and behaviors I used to indulge in as well. So number one, trying to control other people's perception of you. A lot of fearful avoidants usually fear looking stupid or weak or incompetent or like a burden, and so a lot of times they put on this facade in order to cover all of those fears and wounds that they're holding. And this facade can be covered by labels or awards, or really clinging on to those achievements that they've accomplished. And instead of focusing on really being your authentic self and feeling comfortable to express that, we put on this facade and kind of shape ourselves into this person and put ourselves in a box. We use this facade and feel the need to project this image to ourselves, to people that we've just met or people that we're close to, because we want to make them perceive us in a certain way. And yes, some of us all want to look good in front of people. However, fearful avoidants usually hold on to this facade a lot more. When people see through it, they feel a lot more vulnerable and unsafe. Now, number two, over-explaining. Because fearful avoidants have this deep need to feel seen, heard, and understood, they tend to over-explain themselves because they don't want people to misinterpret what they're saying. So similar to putting up a facade, they feel the need to prove themselves to other people, and so they end up over-explaining in order to try to control how other people are perceiving them. And number 3, diving into personal development and intellectualizing everything. Now, there's nothing wrong with diving into personal development and going on your personal development journey. I've done it multiple times and I'm making videos to help you do it too. However, I do want to note that over-consuming these types of content just to intellectualize it can turn unhealthy. In order to heal, you need to feel, which means that you're not trying to fix your emotions by rationalizing it, by actually feeling your emotions. Because remember, emotions are not meant to be fixed, they're meant to be felt. So make sure you're not just rationalizing it and jumping into that logic. I think a lot of people use personal development as a way to mask their wounds and avoid feeling through the emotion. And in a sense, diving into personal development helps you feel more in control of your life, because if you understand yourself, you can kind of share that to other people because you have this deep need to feel understood. And number 4, micromanaging your partner. And this is for y'all in relationships. And one thing that I noticed about fearful avoidance and anxious preoccupied attachment styles is this need to micromanage their partner in order to feel in control. This can come up in a lot of unhealthy forms, whether it's testing your partner, guilt tripping them, being passive aggressive, or even feeling this need to try to change your partner and mold them into someone they're not. Now, all of these behaviors that I just described allows you to avoid being truly vulnerable in your relationship. But there's actually another reason why you do this, is because you're trying to gain some insight into your relationship in order to see if you can protect yourself. It helps you feel in control and safe when you know what your partner is up to. So this might mean you're constantly questioning them, asking them where they are, what they're doing, why they're doing something a certain way, telling them how you think they should do it, and just asking all the who, what, where, and when questions. Now, yes, these are completely normal questions if you're asking out of curiosity and just wanting to see how your partner is doing. However, what I do notice a lot of fearful avoidants do is that they ask these questions in order to feel that sense of control. And the intention behind these questions is seeing if your partner is doing anything wrong, because your brain is trying to prepare and see if there's anything that they can protect you from. And if you're on the receiving end of these questions, it can feel like you're almost getting interrogated. What I notice is that a lot of anxious and avoidant dynamics tend to be stuck in this conflict, the dismissive feeling like they're being interrogated and controlled, and then the anxious preoccupied just wanting to know things in order to feel safe. Remember, your partner can sense your energy and where you're coming from. So if you're asking these questions in order to test them or catch them, check in with yourself and make sure that you're coming from a place of love and not fear. So if any of these behaviors resonated with you and you notice you're in this predicament of trying to feel in control in these unhealthy ways, I encourage you to take that step to brainstorm to see if there's any healthier strategies that you can embody in order to feel in control of your life. Feeling this need of control isn't a bad thing unless it manifests into some of these unhealthy behaviors that I described. So some of the smaller exercises I give to my clients to help them feel a little bit more in control is breathing exercises, journaling, checking in with yourself, or even finding a routine for yourself or planning and scheduling. These are all things that can make you feel more in control of your life. Ultimately, what will make you feel the most stable and controlled is learning more about yourself and knowing what your needs are in the first place. Understanding what your values are, non-negotiables are, what energizes you. So if that's something that you want to work on together, you can click the link in my description below to book a free call. We can explore and find more ways to help you feel more in control of your life. With that said, comment below and tell me if any of these behaviors resonated with you or if there's anything that I missed. I hope this video helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in next week's video. As always, you got this.